Hey guys, what's up? So it turns out I was actually going to do one episode that features commentary in this Monster Hunter walkthrough. Now, the reason I'm doing this commentary is because I've seen a lot of a lot of videos about Monster Hunter for the PlayStation 2, and a lot of people tend to ask the question, well, how do you farm? How do you get money? How do you go about getting materials? How do you get the Cyclone very, very, very early on throughout the game, which is basically the best weapon you can get very early on throughout the game, and basically just carries you throughout the rest of the game. You never have to go and make the Babel Spear. You never have to go and make the Fire Sword, or like you don't even have to. You don't have to make any other weapon after you make the Cyclone. But the reason I'm really making this video is because I've been farming for about a good 3 days, almost 4 days now, just getting pretty much all the materials that I would need to not only make the Cyclone, but just materials that you would need to make potions, materials that you need to make, just basic essentials that you need to survive in this game. And after putting in about 3 days of effort in Monster Hunter Tri, I noticed a very, very big substantial difference in the two. Tri definitely dumbed down how to farm materials. Like, they pretty much hand everything to you on a silver platter in Tri. But playing Monster Hunter on the PS2, I've realized that no, nothing is handed to you in the original game. You have to farm for everything, literally everything. So, welcome to, I guess you could call this the comprehensive, shortened of course, comprehensive guide as to how I go about farming materials and all that fun stuff in Monster Hunter for the PlayStation 2. So this is just my personal way of farming, but it's a very effective way. You make a good amount of money in a very decent pace, and you also farm a lot of the essential materials that you will need. So everything you're going to see me do in this video is basically the entire process I go about farming. So with that being said, guys, let's just get right to it. Alright guys, so before I begin, I have to do this little disclaimer. This is my way of farming all the materials. I've been farming, like I said, for a couple hours here, a couple hours there for a good amount of 3 days now. But I definitely can vouch for my methods, or my little method of madness, and say this method covers a lot of different areas and at a very, very good pace. So trust me, if you're following this method, guys, it's a lot better than fishing. A lot of people say fishing, that's a lot of money. Wrong. I found a much better way. Fishing is just way too slow. So anyways, the hunt quest that you're going to be doing this farming on. One is Your First Hunt, which is a rank 2. The second is Present for the Armor, which is also a rank 2. And the last is Basics Preparing Meat, which is a rank 1. Others are completely optional or by personal preference. Please note, however, some hunts have different drop rates depending upon which hunt you are currently doing. For instance, some hunts hand feed you some farmable materials easily, while others are harder. It seems they designed the game on different drop rates to be easier or harder depending upon the hunt's overall objective, so please keep this in mind when you are selecting the hunts that work best for you. So your first hunt steps, there are about 8 steps in this process. First and foremost is getting any materials that you would need from the blue box. The second is heading to Zone 1. The thing you're looking there is for the dung pile. Obviously for the Kut Ku Scales. Most of the time it'll be dung that you'll end up getting. I believe there's a maximum of 3 drops that you can get on the dung pile, so you have 3 chances to get a Kut Ku Scale. Third step is Zone 2 for herb collecting. You can either do the weird looking plants near the trees, or you can do the ones in the grassy areas. The ones in the grassy areas tend to give you more herbs, or give you a better chance of getting the herbs. But either way, you can go to the ones near the trees, you can go in the ones in the grass, whichever works best for you. The ones in the trees, however, tend to give you berries more often, but this was just from my personal experience. It could be different. Alright, so Step 4 is Zone 3. You will be collecting herbs, raw meat from the Aptonoth. The raw meat will be from the well-made, to get you some well-made steaks. And of course, the Nitro and special mushrooms. Special mushrooms, guys, are a very, very, very vital part in doing this. They net you all the bonus cash at the end of it, or at the end of the hunt. Not only that, but the bonus cash is often used to pay for the iron pickaxes that you will be used for mining. Alright, so step 5 is zone 10 for the Antidote Herbs. Basically the only thing I come here for. Very good idea to stockpile on some of these Antidote Herbs because they will come in handy, definitely come in handy later on. Now, step 6 is completely optional. I found that mining actually gets you whetstones a lot better than doing this. So, zone 11. The only reason you would come here, and this was, keep in mind that this is before I really started cracking down on mining, so I had no idea what would be the best way to get whetstones. After doing mining for quite a while, I can definitely tell you guys that you'll end up getting stacks of whetstones a lot faster than you think just from mining alone, making this completely obsolete. However, if you are looking to craft, I believe, the bone armor, if you're looking to craft the entire set of bone armor, or any other stuff that may need a Bullfango pelt, then obviously you'll be coming here to kill him. However, you can also kill him for some raw meat, so that's another way of getting raw meat. But you can also go ahead and sell the Bullfango pelts if you don't need them, if you just have no use for them. So you can get you can get a couple extra bucks here and there. The main reason I came to zone 11 was for the chance of getting whetstones, but as I said, you really don't have to do this. The whetstones in this zone are a very, very horrendous drop, so don't even bother doing this unless you just want the Bullfango pelts. Then go ahead and do this, but this step is completely optional. Alright, so step 7 is zone 9. The little bush that you would have no idea anything is actually there. But zone 9, zone 9's bush for the chances of getting a Kut Ku Scale. In the bush, there's 4 chances of drops, so 4 drops total. So your chances of getting a Kut Ku Scale are actually very, very good in that bush. It's specific. But 4 is usually 4 is the maximum amount of items that you can get from that bush. The other thing you come here in this zone for is the honey. Now the honey, specifically when you're doing your first hunt always comes in 3s. I've never had it do it in any other number formation other than 3s. It's always been, you will always get 3 pieces of honey guaranteed from doing your first hunt if you go and collect the honey. But obviously you do that for making mega potions. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. Could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I just made myself sound retarded. But anyways, 3 pieces of honey are always guaranteed. If you're having trouble finding the honey, just change the position of change the direction that your character is looking at, because for whatever reason there's sweet spots to getting the honey. I don't know why, but trust me, if it says that there's nothing found, trust me, it's there. So just keep changing the direction of your character, and just hopefully you'll hit those sweet spots. But 3 pieces of honey guaranteed. And the last step, which is the last final 8th step, is zone 8 for blue mushrooms, and of course finishing the quest, or finishing the hunt. Always save the main objective of the hunt for last. It makes sense to do that. That way you don't have to focus on killing the Velociprey immediately. Well, obviously you don't want to kill the Velociprey immediately. Just always save the main objective for the hunt dead last. The only other step that you can add to this is going to zone 6 for mining, but I found that the drop rates in doing present for the armor are just a lot better. That in zone 5, 4 and 5 are open in present for the armor, so it just makes sense to kind of do all the mining when you're doing present for the armor. hence the whole reason why I even decided to select that hunt. And yes, I actually wrote down, jotted down everything in this little notebook thing. Jotted down everything just so I wouldn't forget. So reward totals for doing your first hunt usually turn out to be, what, 300 zenny and plus any special mushrooms that you may or may not have obtained while doing this. But obviously the excess Velociprey stuff can be sold for a fair amount once you get some pretty good stacks of them. They can be sold for a pretty good fair amount. Special mushrooms, hell, any materials that you don't need you can just sell for extra cash. But usually the money that you're getting from the special mushrooms at first will always go to the iron pickaxes. That is the whole reason why you actually have to go and see if you can get some special mushrooms. Whole reason. Alright, so step 2 is present for the armor. Now always, guys, bring 5 pickaxes with you. Cannot stress this enough. Always bring 5 iron pickaxes. Don't go for the old pickaxes because that shit doesn't fly. Iron pickaxes will last you a lot longer, hopefully, and I believe it's just a lot more durable. So spend the extra money on the iron pickaxes. Take some of the money that you're using for the special mushroom, or that you get from the special mushrooms, and just throw them all into the iron pickaxes. Trust me, it's going to save you a lot of time in the long run. Alright, so all the steps that you do in your first hunt, do take all the steps that you do in when you did your first hunt, all 8 steps, or 7 in this case, because we're not including zone 11. So do all those steps, and now all we're adding is the mining in zone 5 and in zone 6. Now the whole reason why, like I said, the whole reason why I save mining for present for the armor is just because drop rates are a lot better when doing present for the armor. It just seems like that. That's and the most important zone for getting Mashalite ore, which is the only zone that you can get Mashalite ore in, aka zone 5, is unlocked during this. That, and you can start stockpiling on paintballs because they are not a supply item, so you can start stockpiling on the paintballs. So you're covering a lot of fields. Not only are you getting the money, you're also getting any excess money for materials that you don't need. You're getting the Kut Ku Scales. Now, to do a little math on the Kut Ku Scales, you'll see at the end of this video I have obtained 80 Kut Ku Scales. 40 Kut Ku Scales totals to about, if you decide to sell them to the little vendor lady in Kokoto, or the little vendor lady in the village, at 40 Kut Ku Scales what is the word? That sells for about 10k. Yeah, sells for about 10k. So that's definitely very, very nice if you're not looking to make the Kut Ku armor. 40 Kut Ku Scales will total till about 10k. So add another 40 onto that. So now we're at 80. That will that'll net you 20k. So the Kut Ku Scales, and the Kut Ku Scales aren't a horrendous drop rate, guys. Obviously it can't be a horrendous drop rate considering I've been farming for quite a while and I managed to get 80 of them. Might just be my luck, but it doesn't seem like the Kut Ku Scales are hard to come by. But for the beginning of this video, you're seeing that I instantly go from zone 4 to 5. I don't go instantly to zone 6 because I don't want to have to climb all the way up the vines to get all the way up to the mining spot. Doing this, what it seems is, it may seem like a little bit of a longer route, but I found this to be a lot easier and a lot faster than actually going up those the 3 sets of vines you have to get up to just to get to the mining spot. And this way you can go from zone 5, instantly go to zone 6. Like, you instantly can go to the mining spot this way. So what may seem like a longer path may actually be shorter. Alright, so there's actually a couple other things that you're going for in Zone 5. Number 1, the mining spot. You can get earth crystals, iron ore, stones, disc stones, wet stones, and of course the prize, the prize possession, Mashalite ore. Mashalite ore and earth crystals, if you're planning on making the cyclone very early on, those two materials are going to take you the longest. Iron ore isn't going to take you too long. Disc stones are a very common drop in Zone 6, and stones are just they come out of the woodwork. Wet stones are also a very common drop in this little cavern. Mashalite ore and earth crystals are definitely going to take you the longest here. On a side note, you saw me where the Rathalos would kind of drop down, where that light was. You have a chance of getting mystery bones, another Kut Ku scale, and you can also get unknown skulls. So 3, I believe 3 is the magic number for the middle ground area, meaning you have a chance of getting 3 items. So like I said, Kut Ku scale, unknown skull, and mystery bones. Mystery bones can be sold or can be traded to the guy, the little, I don't know what to call him, to be honest. I don't know whether he's a gnome or some fairy thing, I don't know. But the little dude in Zone 7, you can trade the mystery bones into for him. You trade them to him, and you can get, I believe, stun shrooms, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, in Zone 6, obviously the mining spot in Zone 6, the only thing you're going for there is iron ore, disc stones, earth crystals. Those are basically what you're going for. I don't believe you can get whetstones and mashalite ore. I've never gotten a mashalite ore from Zone 6, from Zone 6, so I don't think, I truly believe Zone 5 is the only zone that you can get mashalite ore from. So hence specifically why I chose this hunt. Also in Zone 5, where the little area where the the little area where the wyvern egg would be, you can get small bone husks, bones, and I believe there's one other thing, small monster bones, you can get from digging up in that little spot where you would normally go collect the wyvern egg for. You can just go there, and if you need small bone husk, you can get them from there. Your reward for doing all this, your base reward is usually 300 zeni, if I'm not mistaken. And any special mushrooms, just like in your first hunt, any special mushrooms you've obtained, that will add to the total. And also all the excess materials that you are going to get as rewards. If you don't need them, then you can obviously sell them as well. And basically, guys, that's really about it. That is my entire process of how I go about farming all the materials. It's a lot better, guys, than fishing. A lot of people say fishing is just the greatest way to get money very early on, and I say bullshit to that. Because number one, you need a unholy amount of patience. Not an unholy, not that much, but you need a very good amount of patience to be able to fish. That, and it just really, it does not net you as much money as you would think. Like in the overall perspective, guys, my method right here of farming covers multiple fields. You're getting whetstones, so that way you can sharpen your blade just in case if you run out of the mini whetstones that they supply you with. You're getting a whole bunch of excess materials that you may not need, so you can sell those, make a whole bunch of extra cash. You're getting the special mushrooms, you're getting herbs, you're getting blue mushrooms, you're getting antidote herbs, you're getting all the basic stuff that you need to make all the basic stuff that you need to survive in Monster Hunter to be successful. That, and you're also covering mashalite ore, you're covering disstones, you're just covering... Hell, if you want to get the cyclone that early on, then this is the perfect method of going about it. Obviously, a lot of people may have a lot of different opinions on this. Monster Hunter veterans, you guys can correct me and give me your methods on how you would go about getting all the materials. I truly feel, however, my way may not be the best way of going about it, but I truly feel I hit a lot of a lot of marks that just makes this method just so much, like, it just makes it really, really viable. Once again, however, the hunts you decide to go out and make them your farming hunts are all done by personal preference. Drop rates vary depending upon your hunt that you are currently doing or you're farming on. So there's a lot of different variables that come into play, but I can very, very well, and I will vouch for you guys. I'm vouching for you on this. My way nets you a lot of different things. It all it requires is a shitload of patience. Which, once again, Monster Hunter is a game that just rewards patience. It truly, truly rewards you being patient. Good things come to those who wait. This Monster Hunter was the first one to set the bar. Monster Hunter, obviously, I believe in later games, I can only vouch for Try because I put in 3 days, 3 days and killed a laggy Akatas, which is the water monster on the cover of the game. I put 3 days into Try and I've already almost blown through the entire game. So it seems like they toned down the difficulty and definitely toned down the difficulty on getting a lot of the materials for farming and for mining, especially mining. So it seems like they toned down the difficulty, but that's only in Try. I can't confirm this for Freedom Unite, I can't confirm this for future Monster Hunters, but for difficulty wise and definitely for patience, patience pays off in the end. The original Monster Hunter was definitely the one to set the bar, and definitely the one to set the standards. Now, the little last step that a lot of you guys may be asking right now, well, what do you do with all the raw meat that you collect? Simple. You just do the basic hunt preparing meat. Now, while you're doing that, if you don't, number one, I selected that because if you don't want to spend the money and get yourself a barbecue split, then they provide you with one, and you're gonna have stacks and stacks of raw meat that need to be cooked. So when you do that, go out, kill a cook one well done steak, and go kill a Aptonoth real quick, carve it, get a raw meat, and that way you are going completely dead even. You will never ever ever go negative doing that hunt. In fact, you'll never go negative anyway because you're getting money at the end of it. As little as it is, you're plussing every single time you do that. So always just cook one well done steak, go out and kill an Aptonoth, finish off cooking all the other raw meat that you have, and then trade in the well done steak, get the money, repeat the process. Repeat all the steps done and provided that I provided. I will also provide a description of all the steps that I do. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. As you can see, I'm showing off all the materials. This is all the materials farmed in a matter of 3 days. Like I said, couple hours here, couple hours there, and this is all the materials I've come up with. So it takes a while, guys, but as I said, now I will not stress this enough. Patience is an absolute virtue in this game. So anyways, guys, hopefully a lot of you find this not only entertaining, but just more so helpful if you're planning on picking up Monster Hunter for the PS2 again, if you're just planning on playing it. Hopefully my explanations provided useful. So thank you guys for watching, and take care.